Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time, as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. I was going to do a retro review today, but I wasn't quite ready getting footage and everything, so I'm going to postpone that probably tomorrow or the next day. Instead, I want to talk about the Switch 2 today. I've been covering Switch 2 news. If you're new to the channel, you probably are aware of that. I've done tons of stuff with Switch 2 leaks. I've seen lots of people come to the channel because of that. That's you. Thank you so much for clicking on the video again. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We're climbing. We're getting really close to 1,000 here, already 832 at the time of this recording. I really appreciate it. But let's get to the Switch 2 stuff today. So first and foremost, I wanted to get to a point that really makes me excited, and that is that Metroid Prime 4 has been rumored to be a Switch 2 launch title. Now, I speculated in my last video that it'd be like first couple months of the Switch 2 launching. We haven't gotten any concrete release date from Nintendo about when Metroid Prime 4 is coming. It is likely at this point going to be a release on the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2, just like Breath of the Wild with the Wii U and the original Switch, which is very exciting for me. The Metroid Prime series is one of my favorite. Metroid Prime is a top 4 favorite game of all time for me, and the recent remaster on the Switch is just gold. It's so perfect. They did it exactly right. And it just makes me really excited to see what's going to come of the franchise moving forward. At one point, we kind of lost hope in Metroid Prime 4 and in the 2D Metroid series all in general. Most Metroid fans probably felt the exact same way. The last mainline entry we got was Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, which was forever ago, until we got a remake on the 3DS of Metroid 2. Which sparked some interest and some hope. Metroid Dread eventually made its way to the Nintendo Switch and did really big numbers for the series, and the best the series has ever seen. That's really exciting for me because I've loved Metroid since I was a little kid. It's always reviewed extremely well, but it's never seen huge mainstream success. But this is the chance for Metroid Prime and the Metroid franchise in general to step into the spotlight in a huge way. If this is going to be indeed Nintendo's Breath of the Wild for the Switch 2, Metroid Prime 4, they have a lot of faith in this one. They have a lot of faith that this is going to not only be a success for the franchise, but sell consoles as well. If this is going to be true, I've seen lots of notable leakers say and reports coming out saying that it is in fact going to be a launch title for the Switch 2, I expect this to do extremely well. Pairing this with Mario Kart 9, I think, is a very smart move. Again, Metroid has seen some big numbers. I think from the Wii U and 3DS era to the Switch era, I've talked about this before, it went from under 1 million units sold on the Wii U and 3DS, all the way up to 5 million on the Switch. I believe that included Dread and Metroid Prime Remastered. It maybe only included Dread, though. And if that's the case, that's a huge increase. 500% is a lot. I expect that to only grow, especially if it is a launch title for the Switch 2. Give people a reason to come over to the new console. Even if it's on the Switch 1, maybe it's got better hardware and it's got better hardware to deal with everything. It's going to look way better, obviously, all these nice things. I'm just excited to see what they're going to do with it. I'm also excited to see if the mouse functionality comes into play. But that's a whole entirely different thing here. We have the new presentation in 2 weeks, the new Direct talking about the Switch 2, presumably a price point and a release date expected to be in June of 2025. It's very exciting. I'm very excited about the prospect of Metroid really coming into its own here, becoming a staple, mainstay franchise for Nintendo in a big way. I'm really excited about that. But I'm also very excited about the third-party offerings. I've also talked about this quite a bit. But there's a new report from, I believe it's, EXTAS1S, I believe is the user. I've talked about them on this channel before with other leaks. This time they are claiming that Elden Ring, as well as Tekken 8 and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero are going to be coming to the Switch 2. All very, very well received and well reviewed titles. This would be kind of huge. Having Elden Ring on the go, I believe you can play it on Steam Deck. I'm actually not positive, but I'm assuming you can play it on some kind of PC handheld at this point. I can't imagine that's one of the games they've left off. But being able to play Elden Ring on the go on a dedicated console handheld like this with much better battery life is probably going to turn a lot of heads. And it's going to signal a very big shift for Nintendo. They've gotten really good third-party support on the Nintendo Switch. They started the Wii U off with good third-party support, and it waned very quickly because interest in when the console died. Now that the Switch is one of the hypest consoles of all time, one of the best-selling consoles, poised to be the best-selling console of all time, third-party developers are likely wanting to get in on the ground floor. Most analysts are projecting that the Switch 2 will, regardless of price, be the best launch of any console ever, which is pretty huge. If true, I expect it to be. It looks like they're going to have tons of units available right away, and likely a big batch coming straight away after, so they can meet demand as much as possible. They are going to sell very, very well because of stuff like this. Sparking Zero is a next-gen exclusive game, which is very exciting to see. That means the Switch 2 is indeed as powerful as people are thinking it's going to be. Elden Ring runs on both generations, but it runs better on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, obviously, and I would love to see it on the Switch 2, despite having played it on the PlayStation 5. I would really love them to see like a definitive version or a Game of the Year version with the Shadow of the Erdtree paired with it. I think that would be a really smart move, but we'll see if that comes. That might just be give you the base game, and then you buy the DLC. If that's the case, no big deal there either. I think that would be totally fine. This would be a great time to introduce a Game of the Year edition if they're going to. And Tekken 8, I think that the Switch being like the home of the best-selling fighting game of all time with Smash Bros. Ultimate seems like a very good place to put a game like Tekken 8. Again, a fighting game that you can play on the go and practice on the go would be really, really huge. I love playing fighting games on the Switch. I'm going to be honest, it's really, really fun. Even Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is pretty technical, even on the Joy-Cons, works pretty darn well, and I really enjoy that. So having more fighting games, more access to stuff like this, especially since Tekken has become, again, more mainstream, we're seeing fighting games breaking that mainstream mold, is a really big encouraging thing. Pair that with some of the rumors with like the Gears of War trilogy coming over to the Switch, the Master Chief Collection coming to Switch too. Like, this is going to be a very huge launch for the Nintendo Switch. I think Nintendo is poised to take the console world by storm here. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, they have a handful of exclusives at this point. Even before they started porting their stuff over to PC, there wasn't a whole lot to draw you over to those consoles. For the PlayStation 5 at the beginning, it was Demon's Souls, a remake of a PlayStation 3 game that if you've already played before, you maybe have some interest in the remake. I think it's much better than the original, and I had a blast with it, but maybe it's not your cup of tea, or that genre is not for you. We've seen like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, which is phenomenal, but now it's on PC. Same thing with Marvel Spider-Man 2 and everything. Like we're just seeing so many games make their way to PC, and Nintendo makes the best games. Let's just be real here. Across the board, they have the best design philosophies. They do a fantastic job across the board with making games that are enjoyable to play. And if they come out the gate swinging like I expect them to, and like what we've seen the plans for, they're really going to dominate this generation. Not only are they going to succeed the Switch, but they're going to take it and run really, really fast with it. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that. Just because I like to see the competition. Right now, PlayStation is in a spot where they don't really need to push the envelope very much. That's why the PlayStation 5 Pro was set at such a high price point, because they know Microsoft isn't really competing with them at this point. Nintendo is in their own space. Now with the Switch 2 being a more competent piece of hardware, now Sony's going to have to step it up. Now Microsoft's really going to have to step it up. They have the IP. We know they do. Astro Bot proved that for Sony. Microsoft looks like they're poised to actually capitalize on their old IP and then promote their new games like Gears of War E-Day, presumably a new Halo game as well. It's time for them to step up their game and show us the IPs that they've been sitting on for a long time and actually start making new games for it. You know what? You give me a new Banjo-Kazooie game and a new Conker game, I will be there day one. If it's an Xbox exclusive, I will invest in that new console for those games 100% of the time. I will drop the money and go get those games. I will not wait for them to go multi-platform. Those are games I want to see right now. I just think this is a very good thing for the industry as a whole. I'm very excited about the Switch 2 launch. Again, if you know this channel at all, you are very much aware of that. But I'm very excited that it's only 2 weeks away. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I've been hyping myself up, waiting to see what we're going to get. Again, if you missed any of my leak videos, my speculation is we're going to get Metroid Prime 4, Mario Kart 9, right in that launch window at release. We're going to get Pokemon ZA, is definitely going to be on the Switch 2 at this point. I think it's just a no-brainer at this point. We're going to be getting a new 3D Mario game in the holiday window. If I've heard all the leaks and the reports correctly, that's what I'm guessing it'll come. And then we'll get a bunch of new stuff, probably from a Donkey Kong franchise. We're going to get stuff from maybe Star Fox makes a revival. I have heard some rumblings about that. And we're going to get a wave of third-party support. And I'm just really excited to see what that's going to be like. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're most excited about. Does Metroid Prime 4 really interest you? Is it Mario Kart? What is driving you? If you want to buy a Nintendo Switch 2, what is going to get you across the line there? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.